Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock, President and Executive Director of EmeraldPlanet and EmeraldPlanet TV. We're coming to you live from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, a country that's definitely on the move, on a continent of 54 nations that is certainly on the move. And I have a gentleman sitting right beside me, Troy Massey of Pulcra Chemicals of Rock Hill, South Carolina. And he's here with Sheena Inc. looking at the Skintex MR3 special blanket and the way that it can actually assist to reduce the death rate among infants and also to decrease the amount of absenteeism from people missing work for malaria. So I explained all that, Troy, just to say welcome to EmeraldPlanet TV.
Thank you very much.
Now, I understand this is your first time on the African continent. Tell us a little bit about why Pulcra Chemicals wants to be actually on the African continent.
Basically, we want to give back to the community, whether it's the community around our offices in Rock Hill or whether it's a global community.
Now, looking at Pulcra Chemicals, give us a little background, because I understand that you're actually one of the creators and helped to evolve the technology of this special material, Skintex MR3. So tell us a little bit about Pulcra Chemicals and why would it actually get into a very new technology?
Well, Pulcra Chemicals is a global chemical company that supplies textile chemicals around the globe. In the U.S., we're located in Rock Hill, South Carolina, but we are globally headquartered in Germany, and we have affiliates in 14 different countries. As far as the Skintex MR3 blanket goes, I was one of the people responsible for developing the products that go into the blanket. We developed that some 10 years ago, and basically, you know, we were looking at it from a humanitarian point of view to help people. The blanket is a very, very good tool to get out to people that may not have a bed net or may not have a place to hang a bed net. It's just a general tool that everybody, no matter where they're at, can use.
Now, looking at the disease called malaria, this is something that's actually one of the #1 killers, and maybe the #1 killer across the whole globe. And it's something that really hits the people in Tanzania, but across the other 53 nations. Tell us a little bit about malaria. What's so insidious about this disease, and how that you're really, through a very simple tool, what we're calling it a blanket, is able to address something that's been here for millennia, and it's still here.
That's correct. It's still here. Malaria is a nasty disease. It affects millions of people annually and kills hundreds of thousands annually, not only in Africa but around the globe. Obviously, it is spread by the mosquito, the most deadly animal on the planet. And one of the ways that we combat the disease with the blanket is that the blanket itself repels mosquitoes. So when a person is using the blanket, whether they've got it wrapped around them outside at the picnic table or they're sleeping with the blanket on the bed, it's constantly working. It's constantly repelling the mosquitoes that carry the malaria.
Now, you know, in North America, of course, you know, we have mosquitoes. They're everywhere. And in the United States, specifically Canada, really not worried about malaria. But why is malaria such a scourge in a country like Tanzania?
Basically because it affects so many people, not only from a health standpoint, but from a financial standpoint. When a person that is prominent in the family contracts malaria, they may be out of work or may be down. From a financial standpoint, it's very burdening. From a health standpoint, obviously, you know, it can kill a person, it can kill families, or it can kill children, which is even worse.
Now, we understand the statistics from the WHO, the World Health Organization, which is part of the United Nations, is that there's a child that dies literally every 60 seconds on the African continent from malaria. Why is it so many children dying on the African continent from malaria?
Basically, children in Africa are easily exposed. I mean, they're outside all the time. In the homes in Africa, most of them don't have nets or windows that have screens on them. I mean, so mosquitoes can just fly in and out of the house. Children, they're very susceptible because they don't know what a mosquito is. They don't have any means to combat the mosquito. And the blanket is a way for them to do just that, combat the mosquito and help prevent malaria.
Now, you have full EPA, United States Environmental Protection Agency registration. You exceed all of the requirements as far as WHO, the World Health Organization. Tell us a little bit about, and you can take a couple of minutes to do this, but tell us the unique nature of the blanket, the material itself, and also the encapsulated permethrin that's within it.
Yeah, basically the blanket, the fabric itself is a non-woven fabric. It is very, very rugged. It is not easily torn. It's going to last a very long time. It's a fabric that is made for the outdoors or made for use in the African continent where, they may not have the commodities that we do in the USA. As far as the treatment goes, Skintex MR3 is a microencapsulated permethrin product. It's very safe. It is the only insecticidal repellent that is approved by the EPA and the WHO to be used on textiles other than bed nets. It can be used on blankets. It can be used on clothing, whether it's a shirt, pants, whatever. It can be used on all of these things. It's unlike the chemicals that are used in the bed nets of today, where they are much, much more toxic and basically are not safe to be used on clothing or blankets that have skin contact. That's the key difference.
Now, looking at bed nets, this is something, of course, have been used for many years, and people continue to, NGOs continue to bring bed nets to the African continent, spread these around in different countries. But my understanding is that bed nets really are not that widely used, and most people actually don't even like them. So tell us, what is some of the research that you've come across over these years, one, to move away from bed nets, and secondly, to develop a blanket that's really a next generation?
Yeah, the bed nets that are used today, they're used for many other reasons other than protection in the bed. They're used as fishing nets. They can be used as just general fabric outside the home to carry things in, instead of actually protecting the person while they sleep. The bed nets are given out in millions and millions and millions around the African continent, around the globe. And the basic reason is they're cheap, and this is what everybody knows. It's a very old technology that definitely needs to be improved upon, and the blanket itself, whether it's inside the home on the bed or either outside the home, it's a tool that anybody can use, whether they have a bed net or even a bed to hang a bed net from. It's very simple, very common. Anybody can use it. It's just a very basic tool to help the prevention of malaria.
You're here actually traveling with the representatives of Sheena Inc., in Tanzania itself. Tell us what led you to select Sheena Inc. For this donation, and tell us a little bit about the donation and the title that you have for that within Pulcra Chemicals itself.
Yeah, the title we have is Social Solutions. It's basically a title that means we're giving back to the global community, or either the community around our offices back in Rock Hill. Social Solutions came to be from our CEO. It's a term that means a lot to us. We do give back a lot in our communities, but to do that on a global scale is totally different. And we needed a partner to do that. We don't know, Tanzania, or we don't know people outside the U.S. that we could actually partner with. So we contacted EmeraldPlanet, and we also, was in contact with Sheena Inc., and they were a perfect fit. They are working with children inside Tanzania. They are working with families, schools, clinics, whatever it may be. And all of this is focused toward the family and to children. And you're right, you said it earlier. A child under 5 dies every 60 seconds from malaria. And that's what we wanted to focus on. We wanted to give back to the families that stop that from happening. And Sheena Inc. was a perfect partner because they're already working with these families and children within Tanzania.
Looking at the donation, there was something unique about this donation as far as the mix of people that were involved. How did you select the people from within Pulcra Chemical, and why that particular focus?
Well, our focus just wanted to be about the kids. That's going to be the future. That's going to be future of not only the U.S. but whatever country they're growing up in. And when you have so many children dying of malaria every 60 seconds, it just made sense for us to partner with a company that's doing work in that region of the globe. Tanzania is a perfect world for us to be able to donate the blankets. Approximately 1,100 blankets were donated, and every one of these are going to families that have children.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. Of course, you're talking again about, a child dies every 60 seconds on the African continent. I mean, it's just mind-boggling, to think about that whole thing. What do you see for the growth and expansion of Pulcra Chemical? We have to be quick as far as expanding the Skintex MR3 materials in Tanzania, around the globe.
We want to do all we can to prevent disease, insect-borne diseases around the globe, specifically in Africa and malaria. It is something that we strive to get as many blankets as we can out to the families in need. And working with people like EmeraldPlanet and Sheena, that's a way for us to do just that. It's a way for us to do all that we can to help the people of the world.
Well, Troy Massey of Pulcra Chemical and Skintex MR3, thank you for being with us on the EmeraldPlanet. And thank you, dear viewers, for being with us as we're in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, as we look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.